Welcome to the Jill on Money Show. It is Sunday, September 18th. This is the last day, probably. I won't say the last day. I was going to say this is the last day you have to hear about my ride, but I'll probably talk about it when I get back and see how I did. If you've got a financial question, we would love to hear from you. Just go to the website, jillonmoney.com, and click the Contact Us button. Let us know if you'd be willing to come on the air. We love having you on the air because that allows us to ask lots of follow-up questions. So that is what Michael from New York gets to do. Welcome, Michael.
Hi, Jill. It's great talking to you. My wife and I are both 47 years old. We're looking to retire within maybe the next 4 years.
Wait a second. Hold on. You're going to retire in 4 years?
We're trying, if not sooner.
Oh, my gosh. Are you sitting on top of a pile of money, I hope?
A little bit.
How much?
We have about $3 million.
Okay. And you have a couple of kids in the picture or not?
No kids.
No kids. It does make your retirement planning a bit easier, let's be honest.
It does.
How about, do you own the place where you live or are you renting?
No, we own no mortgage, no debt.
No mortgage, no debt. Okay. And of the $3 million, tell me how much of that is in retirement accounts? In other words, what would be taxable if you pulled it out, and how much in non-retirement accounts?
So I have a Roth 401k with about $530 and a traditional IRA with about $550. My wife has all traditional IRAs and 401ks, and she's about $800. And then we have about $800 in taxable accounts.
Okay, great. When you look at how you spend your money right now, would your retirement have to kind of keep up with that exact level of spending? Or are you planning to say, I'm willing to cut back on the money we're spending in retirement so we can get out earlier?
Absolutely willing to cut back.
You are? Okay, that's great. Are you going to stay in the New York area, or are you planning to bolt once you're done with working?
Nope, we're going to pull up and move to someplace much, much cheaper.
So if you look at your real estate right now, if you were going to just blow it out, what would the value be? Don't do the top dollar. Give me a conservative estimate of what you'd pull out of a sale.
Probably $300.
Okay, $300,000. Let's just presume that you sell and you move somewhere else with a cheaper cost of living, but you spend the $300 you pull out, you actually say, okay, we're just going to spend that in the next place, okay? So that we then have the $3 million essentially to work with. I think that the issue that is going to be challenging is that two things. One is, how are you going to manage health insurance?
That is a good question. That's the wild card in the planning.
Yeah. How much do you think you can live on? $5,000 a month?
I think that's about the number we targeted.
Okay. Is that including or not including health insurance?
That would include.
Wow. All right. Because I sort of feel like health insurance is going to be $1,000 a month easy for you guys. So you're going to live on $50,000 a year, and then in addition, you'll have to pay for health insurance. All right, I'm going to trust you. Let's say forget about 4 years. You get to be whatever, you're 51, 52 years old, right? If you look at your projections, how much do you think you'll save in that non-qualified account over the next 4 years?
We could probably do maybe another $400,000.
Really? That would be fantastic. That's great.
I mean, so, because our income currently, we both make $200,000.
All right, so you make $400,000 a year. If in 4 years you've got $1.2 million, what we need to figure out is, can you generate enough money at that time to cover your $5,000 a month, right? And you pretty much have to sort of count on the fact that you're going to spend that down. You kind of get close. I'm still concerned about how long it takes you to get to claim Social Security. Like, you've got this 10-year time horizon and maybe 15 years where there might be real needs to pull money, and then you lose all of that compounding. Let me ask you this. Let's say you retire from working in a high pressure job. Would you guys consider working part-time and to bridge the gap so we don't have to drain the whole non-qualified account?
Absolutely.
Okay. Then I think you might be able to make it work. And so let's say that from the 1.2 million, you pull 30 grand a year. Okay. And then from your ability to work part-time or do some project work or whatever it is you did, you guys generate another 30 grand a year. Okay. Then I think we're pretty close, or 30 or 40 grand, just between the two of you. Then I think this works pretty well, because what in my strategy here, what I would be thinking about is, can I live on the non-qualified account until I claim Social Security? And can I then leave the Roth 401k, the traditional 401k, the traditional IRA, can I leave those assets alone so that they can grow? And then in my 60s, I can use those to create the income to supplement whatever the Social Security is. I think that, to me, is the game plan. Now, you know how this works better?
Tell me.
You work longer. It will work. I know you hate what you do. Tell me the truth. It's okay.
No. I love what I do. Sometimes not necessarily where I'm doing it, but that can be fixed.
Okay. Because I think that incrementally, if you work, every year you work, what you're doing is you're A, saving more money in that non-qualified account, creating a bigger cushion. And B, you are preventing yourself from invading that principle. So what I would say is this. I would keep running these numbers. And what I might look at is, what would happen if instead of retirement at 51, 52, what does it look like at 55? Just look at it. You might find that there's greater comfort in working an extra few years. Or even if you said, I'm not going to work at the same company, that instead of you making 200 grand a year, you say, what would happen if I made $120,000 a year and worked in a place where I was happier? Could you work longer? I think those are the kinds of questions you should ask yourself. It's pretty risky to call it quits at age 52 on $3 million. It just is.
Okay.
You know, it's not a horrible thing. The health insurance is an issue. If you told me, hey, you know what, I'm a teacher and I get health insurance coverage for life, yeah, I'm a little bit less worried. But I feel like you could be one illness away from blowing through that non-qualified nest egg. And that would be very scary to me. Unless you say, hey, you know what happened is I found a place to live and I'm going to, instead of spending $300, I can buy, I can live somewhere in Washington State with no state income tax, or I'm going to move to Texas and I'm going to find not just a really cheaper standard of living than living in New York, but I could also find a job and the one that I love. Like, I think you're close enough that you could probably do some research and make it work. I would feel more comfortable if you were my client. I would feel more comfortable if you were willing to at least look at different scenarios rather than calling it quits at 52. Okay, if you've got a retirement question, if you've got a college funding question, if you're starting a new business, maybe you're weighing a new job opportunity and you want us to weigh in, we'd love to hear from you. Go to JillOnMoney.com, click the Contact Us button, let us know if you want to come on the air, but otherwise, lots of detail. I know you know how to do that. While you're on the website, check out all the stuff that we create. We've got lots of content there, and you can subscribe to our sister broadcast. It's called Eye on Money. You can get that wherever you get your podcasts, and you can sign up for the free weekly newsletter. Check out the new book. It's all there at the JillOnMoney.com website. Grit, growth, grace. Thank you for listening, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.